Claire Eyre Henderson was 29 years old when the envelope arrived. It was a Thursday in October mid-morning, the kind of bright autumn day when the air smells like wood smoke and dying leaves. The envelope was thick, cream-colored with a law firm's name embossed in the corner. Whitmore and Associates Estate Planning and Family Law. Inside was a single document, 12 pages stapled. The cover letter was addressed to Claire Elizabeth Henderson. It had been sent by her parents' attorney. Claire had not spoken to her parents in 2 years, 3 months, and 16 days. She opened the document standing at her kitchen counter. She read the first page, then the second. By the third page, she started laughing. By the fifth page, she was laughing so hard she had to sit down. The document was a formal demand that Claire repay her parents $47,000 for the cost of raising her, but only if this story resonates with you. Please take a moment to like and subscribe. Drop your city and the time you're watching in the comments below. Claire loved knowing where people were listening from. Claire grew up in a suburb outside Philadelphia. Her father, Robert Henderson, was a regional sales manager for a pharmaceutical company. Her mother, Diane Henderson, worked part-time as an office administrator for a dental practice. They lived in a 4-bedroom house with a 2-car garage and a backyard with a wooden fence. The house was always clean. The lawn was always mowed. Appearances mattered. Robert and Diane had 2 children. Claire's older brother, Jason, was the favored one. He played football in high school. He got a business degree from a state university. He worked in sales like their father. Robert called Jason his legacy. Diane called him her pride and joy. Claire was the backup child, Theon, who existed to make Jason look better by comparison. The pattern started early. When Claire was in 5th grade, she won 2nd place in the district spelling bee. She came home with a certificate and a small trophy. Her parents were hosting a dinner party that night. Claire showed them the trophy. Her father glanced at it and asked why she had not won 1st place. Her mother said 2nd place was nice, but did not put it on display. The trophy went into a box in the garage. That same year, Jason made the middle school football team. Her parents threw him a celebration dinner. They invited the neighbors. They bought a cake that said "Future Champion" in blue icing. Claire sat at the end of the table and ate her slice in silence. In high school, Claire joined the debate team. She was good at it. She won 3 regional tournaments her junior year. Her parents never attended a single competition. They said debate was not a real sport. Jason played varsity football. Her parents attended every game. They bought Booster Club sweatshirts. They tailgate in the parking lot before kickoff. When Claire asked if they could come to the state debate finals, her mother said it was the same weekend as Jason's homecoming game. They went to the game. Claire took the bus to the debate tournament. She placed 1st. She called her parents from the school lobby to tell them. Her father said that was great and asked if she had remembered to defrost the chicken for dinner. College was worse. Claire got into a small liberal arts school on an academic scholarship. Her parents said the school was fine, but not prestigious. Jason went to the same state university Robert had attended. Her parents paid his tuition in full. They bought him a car. They gave him a credit card for expenses. Claire's scholarship covered most of her tuition, but she still needed help with room and board. Her parents said they would contribute $3,000 per semester. The rest was her responsibility. Claire worked 20 hours a week at the campus library. She took out student loans. She graduated with $31,000 in debt. Jason graduated with none. At Claire's graduation, her parents arrived late and left before the reception. At Jason's graduation, they hosted a party at the house with catered food and a banner that said, "Congratulations, Jason." After college, Claire moved to Boston. She got a job as a program coordinator for a nonprofit that worked with underserved youth. The pay was modest, but the work mattered to her. Her parents said nonprofit work was noble, but not practical. They said she should get a real job in business or finance. Claire ignored them. She rented a small apartment in a neighborhood near the train line. She adopted a cat. She made friends. She built a life. Her parents called twice a year, Christmas and her birthday. The calls lasted less than 10 minutes. They asked how work was going. They told her about Jason's promotions and bonuses. They did not ask about her life. Claire stopped expecting them to. The breaking point came at Thanksgiving 2 years ago. Claire drove to Philadelphia for the holiday. She had not seen her parents in 8 months. She arrived at the house Wednesday evening. Her mother answered the door. She said hello and told Claire to put her bag in the guest room. Jason was already there with his fiancée, a woman named Stephanie, who worked in marketing. Stephanie wore designer clothes and talked about the wedding they were planning. Diane fawned over her. She showed Stephanie the china they would use for Thanksgiving dinner. She asked Stephanie's opinion on centerpieces and napkin colors. Claire stood in the kitchen and watched. No one asked her opinion. No one asked about her work. No one asked about her life. Thanksgiving dinner was at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The table was set with the good dishes. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, green beans, rolls. Diane had cooked for 2 days. The meal was perfect. During dinner, Robert raised his glass. He said he wanted to make a toast. He said he was grateful for his family. He looked at Jason. He said Jason had made him proud every day of his life. He said Jason was everything a father could hope for in a son. He said he was excited to welcome Stephanie into the family. Everyone clinked glasses. Claire drank her water. No one looked at her. After the toast, Stephanie talked about the wedding, the venue, the flowers, the guest list. Diane asked how many people they were inviting. Jason said 200. Diane asked if they needed help with costs. Jason said they were fine, but any contribution would be appreciated. Robert said he and Diane would cover the rehearsal dinner. He said it was the least they could do for their son. Claire set down her fork. She asked if her parents had offered to help her with anything recently. The table went quiet. Diane asked what she meant. Claire said she had $31,000 in student loans. She said she had asked for help 2 years ago when she was struggling to make payments. She said her parents had told her it was her responsibility. She asked why Jason's wedding was their responsibility, but her education debt was not. Robert said that was different. Claire asked how. Robert said Jason had worked hard and earned their support. Claire asked if working 20 hours a week while maintaining a 3.7 GPA was not hard work. Diane said Claire was being ungrateful. She said they had done everything for her. Claire laughed. She asked what they had done. Diane said they had raised her, clothed her, fed her, and put a roof over her head. She said Claire owed them respect. Claire said respect was earned, not owed. Robert stood up. He told Claire to leave. He said if she could not be civil, she was not welcome in their home. Claire stood. She picked up her purse. She walked out the front door. She got in her car and drove back to Boston. She did not call. She did not text. She deleted their numbers from her phone. 2 years passed. Claire did not hear from her parents. She did not hear from Jason. She assumed they had moved on. She had. She paid down her loans. She got promoted at work. She started dating someone who treated her with kindness. She went to therapy and worked through the years of being invisible. She built a life that felt like hers. She was happy. Then the envelope arrived. Claire read the document 3 times to make sure she was not misunderstanding it. The cover letter explained that Robert and Diane Henderson had retained Whitmore and Associates to recover funds owed to them by their daughter. The attached itemized invoice detailed the cost of raising Claire from birth to age 18. diapers, formula, clothing, medical expenses, school supplies, extracurricular fees, groceries, utilities, and a portion of the mortgage allocated to her bedroom. The total was $47,312. The letter demanded repayment within 60 days. It noted that failure to comply would result in further legal action. The letter was signed by Jonathan Whitmore, attorney at law. Claire sat at her kitchen table and laughed until her sides hurt. She laughed because the absurdity was too large for any other response. She laughed because her parents, who had given Jason a free college education and a wedding fund, were billing her for the cost of her childhood. She laughed because they had itemized diapers. She called her best friend, Maya. Mia came over an hour later. Claire handed her the document. Mia read it in silence. Then she looked up and said, "This could not be real." Claire said it was. Mia said it was unhinged. Claire said it was exactly what she should have expected. Maya asked what Claire was going to do. Claire said she was going to call a lawyer, not to pay the bill. To respond, Claire contacted an attorney named Rebecca Torres. Rebecca practiced family law. She had good reviews and an office downtown. Claire brought the document to their first meeting. Rebecca read it carefully. Then she looked up at Claire and said she had seen a lot of unusual things in family law, but this was a new one. She said the demand was legally baseless. Parents could not bill their adult children for the cost of raising them. It was not enforceable. Claire asked if her parents knew that. Rebecca said probably not. She said the letter was likely intended to intimidate or manipulate. She asked what outcome Claire wanted. Claire said she wanted to make it clear that she would not be intimidated. Rebecca smiled. She said they could do that. Rebecca drafted a response. It was professional, concise, and devastating. It thanked Mr. Whitmore for his correspondence. It noted that the demand was without legal merit. It explained that parental obligations to minor children were a matter of law, not contract, and that fulfilling those obligations did not create a debt owed by the child. It further noted that if Robert and Diane Henderson wished to pursue legal action, Claire would countersue for emotional distress, harassment, and frivolous litigation. The letter closed by suggesting that Mr. Whitmore advised his clients to seek counseling rather than further legal remedy. Rebecca sent the letter via certified mail. Claire received the delivery confirmation 2 days later. 3 weeks passed. Claire heard nothing. Then her phone rang. The caller ID said Jason Henderson. Claire had not spoken to her brother in 2 years. She answered. Jason did not say hello. He said their parents were furious. He said Claire's lawyer had sent a letter that humiliated them. He said they were hurt and angry. Claire asked if he had seen the invoice they sent her. Jason said he had. He said it was their way of making a point. Claire asked what point. Jason said they felt unappreciated. Claire said they had sent her a bill for $47,000 because they felt unappreciated. Jason said she was being difficult. Claire asked if he had received a similar bill. Jason went quiet. Claire said she thought not. She told Jason she had no interest in repairing a relationship with people who saw her as a debtor. She hung up. Claire thought that would be the end of it. It was not. 1 month later, she received a call from her Aunt Linda, her mother's younger sister. Linda said she needed to talk to Claire. She said it was important. Claire agreed to meet her for coffee. They met at a cafe near Claire's office. Linda ordered tea. Claire ordered black coffee. Linda said she had heard about the invoice. Claire said of course she had. Linda said Diane had told the whole family. She said Diane was playing the victim. She said Diane claimed Claire had rejected the family and refused to acknowledge everything they had sacrificed. Claire asked what Linda thought. Linda said she thought Diane had always been blind to how she treated Claire. She said she had watched it for years. She said she had tried to say something once and Diane had stopped speaking to her for 6 months. Linda said she was sorry. She said she should have done more. Linda reached into her bag. She pulled out an envelope. She handed it to Claire. She said it was from Claire's grandmother, Diane's mother, who had passed away 4 years earlier. Linda said the envelope had been left in her care with instructions to give it to Claire when the time was right. Linda said she thought the time was now. Claire opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter on cream-colored stationery. The handwriting was shaky but legible. It was dated 3 months before her grandmother's death. The letter began with an apology. Her grandmother wrote that she had watched Diane treat Claire unfairly for years. She wrote that she had tried to intervene, but Diane would not listen. She wrote that she was leaving Claire something in her will, but Diane was the executive and she feared Diane would not honor it. So, she had given Linda an envelope containing a check and instructions to deliver it when Claire needed it most. The letter ended with a line that said Claire deserved better than the family she had been born into and that her grandmother had always been proud of her. Claire unfolded the second piece of paper. It was a check. It was dated the week before her grandmother's death. It was made out to Claire Elizabeth Henderson. The amount was $50,000. Claire stared at it. Linda said the check had been held in an escrow account managed by Linda's attorney. It was still valid. It was Claire's. Claire looked up. She asked why Linda had waited 2 years to give it to her. Linda said the letter had specified that the check should be delivered when Claire had truly separated from her parents. Linda said the invoice had made it clear that separation was complete. Claire folded the check carefully. She put it back in the envelope. She thanked Linda. Linda said their grandmother had loved her. Claire said she knew. Claire deposited the check the next day. She paid off the remainder of her student loans in full. The balance was $17,000. She put $20,000 into savings. She used the rest to fund a scholarship at her college for first-generation students studying social work. She named it the Ella Laner Marsh Scholarship after her grandmother. She did not tell her parents. She did not tell Jason. She told Ma and Rebecca. They took her out to dinner to celebrate. The restaurant had white tablecloths and candles on every table. They ordered wine and pasta and dessert. Claire felt lighter than she had in years. 2 months later, Claire received another call from Jason. He said their parents wanted to talk. He said they wanted to apologize. Claire asked if they had actually said the word apologize. Jason hesitated. He said they wanted to explain their perspective. Claire said that was not the same thing. Jason said they were family. Claire said family was not an obligation. She said family was something people built through love and respect and her parents had built neither. She said she was done. Jason said she was being selfish. Claire said she was being healthy. She hung up. She blocked his number. She did not hear from him again. Spring came. Claire got another promotion at work. She started leading a team of 5 people. She moved to a bigger apartment with room for a home office. She adopted a second cat. The cats got along well. On a Sunday in April, she hosted brunch for her friends. The table was set with mismatched plates and bright cloth napkins. She made pancakes, scrambled eggs, fruit salad, and coffee. The windows were open. A warm breeze carried the smell of blooming trees. Her friends talked and laughed. Someone told a story about a disastrous first date. Someone else showed photos from a recent trip. Claire refilled the coffee pot twice. She looked around the table and realized this was her family. Not the people who had raised her. The people who had chosen her. The people who saw her and valued her and celebrated her. The people who would never send her an invoice. Later that afternoon, after everyone had left, Claire sat on her couch with both cats curled beside her. She thought about the invoice. She thought about the letter from her grandmother. She thought about the scholarship she had created. She thought about the fact that her parents had tried to bill her for being born and her grandmother had left her enough money to pay off her debts and start fresh. The universe, she thought, had a sense of humor and justice. If you are watching this and you recognize yourself in this story, if you have ever been told you owe something to people who gave you the bare minimum, or if you have ever been billed for love that should have been free, then this is for you. You do not owe your parents repayment for raising you. You do not owe anyone access to your life if they have spent years making you feel invisible. You are allowed to walk away from people who see you as a debt rather than a daughter. You are allowed to build your own family from the people who choose you back. Blood does not make someone family. Love does, respect does, and invoices have no place in either. If this story resonated with you, leave a comment about your own experience. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And subscribe if you want more stories about boundaries, dignity, and chosen family. Claire never spoke to her parents again. She never needed to.